The only reason we seem like so much and we seem so mysterious to most is because of what people are trained to perceive as normal. Mm-hmm. And I think that you are like the most normal person I've ever met, and no one would ever say that about you, you know. But it's because I see it's because I see myself in you.
What have you learned from me that changed you?
Well, you know, the gender thing, they, them. I've been trying my darndest. You know, I mean, you were born my girl, you know, you're born my daughter. So for the last 23, 24 years or whatever, you know, you were my daughter. You are my daughter. But I've got to just change the way I think about it. And looking back, I completely understand it. I wish I knew back then.
Yeah, like
I wish I knew back then.
Everything makes sense.
Everything just kind of came into, just all the blanks filled in for me.
Yeah.
And I just wish back then I knew, you know?
Because so many tweaks could have been made.
Tons of tweaks could have been made.
Yeah.
I need validation as a man. I think I can't speak for any other man, but I think for me as a transgender man, I need more validation from you. And I think I feel I never get that.
Never?
Well,
come on.
Well, I guess it's not right here. I guess if we talked. So when was the last time you validated? Tell me.
I think every day, every second that we're together.
What
I view you as a female? No, I don't.
Okay. But then maybe it's my own thing. But sometimes if you put it was a week or so ago, you threw in a woman pronoun when you want to get to me when we're fighting. That's like the knife. What was it? Something about a girl, something.
A hen party or?
Yes, the hen party. Thank you very much. I don't go to hen parties. I'm a guy.
There's things about being trans that are like really hard that I wish I didn't have to go through. Like, I wish people wouldn't ask me, have you had surgery this? Have you this? And like, is your boyfriend gay? Or like, what kind of guys do you like? Who likes you? And like, what do you have? And like, are your boobs real? And like, is your hair real? And like, I feel like my womanhood is always questioned. And I feel like if I wasn't trans, that none of that would happen. Mm-hmm. But also, I am happy that I'm trans because like everything that is me is me.
I don't feel reflected in some of my other relationships, meaning the trans part, you know? Like, yeah, we're reflecting each other's lives sometimes in a way I don't see with like my cis male partners. But yeah. Like I feel the femininity portion a lot with you, and I also feel what's the opposite of reflection? Like I feel like a boy around you. Not because I think you're a boy, but because I feel like you're boy, you know?
Mm-hmm. I like that.
That feels good.
Yeah.
There can be a relatability. I mean, as a person who, you know, my birth certificate has an F on it, and I've always felt like that F stood for failure, you know, because I just failed to pass or failed to be good enough to be an acceptable woman. And when I wear a dress down the street, I get these looks. And when I see a job opening for, you know, female bartender or whatever, I know that whenever it says female, they're not talking about me.
Yeah.
No matter how I try. And I feel really alone in my identity a lot of times.
Yeah.
And you're a person who really strongly identifies as a he, and you do have a lot of queerness around you.
But don't even say that, because that's not true.
That's something that I don't know about you.
No, I've said it. I don't have a preferred gender pronoun whatsoever. So
really?
my preference is not he.
But I didn't know. I'm so sorry. Like I've always kind of assumed that you're very in your male identity because you're very.
What about me and how I act or even dress sometimes?
Well, yeah,
gives you that impression.
Your dressing can definitely be a lot more across societal norms or spectrums. Yeah. But I guess that like inherent knowledge of like what is our body to ourselves. And I've never had a conversation with you, I don't think ever, like being like, this is how I deeply, truly feel in my heart. And, you know, you said, I feel deeply, truly.
I didn't feel male because male for me was something to constantly live up to. I was raised with 3 straight cis brothers who were brought up, you know, put into sports, and I was too. And we were constantly like measured by how manly we were. And it wasn't like anything intentional that our parents were doing. It was just kind of like, that's what the world does, you know?
Yeah.
So I would consider myself genderqueer, but I also pass by societal standards in a way that I know you don't. Like, I've seen it with you in real time, where I'm like waiting outside of a bathroom for you because I'm afraid somebody's gonna say something because I'm watching their eyes and I see them looking at you when you go into the women's room.
When you're like trans or when you're queer, I feel like a lot of times people want you to like be so firm about everything you believe, right? So it's like cut and dry. Like I want to have this surgery. I want to do this. This is what I want to look like. Like even one of my doctors at some point was like, "So what do you want? You know, what how do you see yourself?" I'm like, girl, I don't fucking know. You know what I mean? And like, I know how I feel. I know what I've cried about. I know like how I felt for a lot of my life, and like that's not fake. But I guess just in like the political climate, there's a lot of like harsh lines being drawn between what is what, and like it's not so much that, but I guess I think about my safety, right?
Yeah.
Like walking through the world as a perceived woman, I know that I'm safe saying, Eb, don't worry, I'll take you to the park.
Yeah.
Me with a beard and titties, I'd be afraid. For real. Yeah, especially like not for anything, but really like it means a lot to me. And like
Oh. Oh, yeah.
I'm thinking back to when we were in the Met. And the Met, yeah. And that woman was like trying to say something to you in the bathroom. And I like couldn't even get myself to pee because I was just like so upset. I was like, I can't believe this fucking lady like thinks she can go out of, like she's gonna go out of her way to say this. When, in what way, shape, or form is this affecting her?
See, in moments like those moments, I know you're just so inherently good. The way you stuck up for me in the bathroom, like, when I didn't even know what was going on because I couldn't even hear her. But I heard you open your stall and start talking to someone, and I was like, what? And then you told me after, and seeing that anger on your face, which I rarely see because you don't get angry. It just struck me that this was very new to you. I knew, but I didn't see it, but I saw it then. I think it's because you realize it's not only politics, but it's morals.
Yeah, and yeah.
I hate like talking about things in this way, but like I want to protect you like a boyfriend.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I think that's cool. I'm kind of a sucker for like sort of weirdly internalized like patriarchy things, but like only in the sense that like they make me feel more like a girl. Like sometimes I just want that. Sometimes I just like want to be objectified the same way as this woman would, and that's like really fucked up.
I thought it was interesting when you showed me that photo the other day, the one where you're wearing the red sweater, and you were like, "This is
the striped one."
Yeah,
okay.
And you looked like really femme, and you were like, "Do you miss this person? Like this is the person you fell in love with?" And I was like, "No. I mean, yes, it was, but like, not physically, because like you, in your mind and like how you are as a person has been the same, and that's what I fell in love with." And, yeah.
I think my past comes up more than yours because you have a strong sense of you from what? A very young age. I didn't have that till 48 now. I didn't have that till, or think about having that till I was 39. I have to kill that old person, so to speak, and to be me. So really, I'm technically 8 years old. So you're really, maybe you shouldn't be with me till I'm technically 16.
Well, that'll happen once you start the testosterone.
Oh.
Right? You'll be in puberty.
But yeah, I love you. You know that.
I love you too.
Mm-hmm. I know that. Meow.
Yeah, we're gonna have beautiful babies in the future. Done.
Yeah. So is the pact still intact?
Yeah, sperm donor or marriage.
Marriage.
Done.
If we don't get married by, yeah, but no. If we do that, it's gonna be such like a beautiful like queer wedding that I'm going to be such like an insane planner for. I can't wait.